Let me tell you something kind of surprising that's been on my mind lately. You ever notice how sometimes the biggest changes in our world don't come with fireworks or big headlines? Sometimes it's the quiet stuff, the things happening just out of sight, that end up changing everything. Like you're looking one way, and meanwhile, something's sneaking in through the back door, setting up shop, and before you know it, it's everywhere. That's exactly what's happening right now with a company you might have heard of, BYD. Yeah, that Chinese electric vehicle giant. But here's the kicker. It's not about their cars. It's about their trucks. And the way they're rolling into America, it's honestly wild, and almost nobody's talking about it. So picture this. You're driving down the highway. Maybe you're on your way to work, or you're just running errands. You see those big, boxy trucks cruising along, hauling who knows what from one warehouse to another. Maybe you don't even notice them because they're just part of the background, right? But what if I told you that a growing number of those trucks aren't running on diesel anymore, and they aren't even made by the big American brands you'd expect? What if right now, as you're listening to this, there are fleets of electric trucks built by BYD quietly working behind the scenes, moving the stuff that keeps America running? And here's the thing. You probably haven't seen a BYD logo at your local dealership. You're not going to see a commercial for a BYD pickup during the Super Bowl. These trucks aren't for you and me to buy and drive around. They're not flashy or in your face. Instead, BYD has found a way to slip into the American market almost unnoticed by going straight to the companies that actually move America's goods. They're not knocking on the front door. They're coming in through the back, setting up in warehouses, ports, and distribution centers. It's like a silent invasion, and it's honestly kind of genius. By the way, before we dive deeper, if you're into stories like this, the kind that pull back the curtain on tech, business, and the future, you might want to hit that subscribe button. No pressure, but I love sharing these kinds of stories, and there's a lot more where this came from. All right, so let's break this down. Who is BYD, and why should you care? Well, BYD, which stands for Build Your Dreams, by the way, started out in China as a battery company. Now they're one of the biggest electric vehicle makers on the planet. In China, they're basically a household name.
But in America, not so much. Most folks here, if they've heard of BYD at all, probably think of them as just another foreign car company trying to make it in the States. But that's not the real story. See, while everyone's been focused on Tesla, Rivian, and Ford, duking it out over who's got the coolest electric pickup or SUV, BYD has been quietly building a different kind of empire. Instead of fighting for attention in the crowded consumer market, they've gone after something way less glamorous, but way more essential: commercial fleets. Think delivery trucks, garbage trucks, those big rigs you see at ports and rail yards. The vehicles that keep the supply chain moving, but that most people never give a second thought. And here's where it gets really interesting. BYD didn't just show up one day and start selling trucks to anyone who'd listen. They played it smart. They set up shop in California, not just importing vehicles from China, but actually building them here in a factory in Lancaster. That's right, American workers building Chinese-designed electric trucks right here on U.S. soil. It's a move that helps them dodge a lot of the political headaches and import taxes that other foreign companies run into. Plus, it gives them a kind of legitimacy. They're not just outsiders, they're creating jobs, paying taxes, and investing in American communities. But let's talk about how these trucks are actually getting used. Because like I said, you're probably not going to see a BYD truck parked outside your neighbor's house. Instead, they're showing up in places you might never think to look. Take DHL, for example, the big yellow delivery company. They've been using BYD electric trucks in California since 2020. These trucks are doing the unglamorous but critical work of hauling packages between distribution centers and airports, especially around Los Angeles. They're not out there making a scene, they're just quietly getting the job done, helping DHL hit its climate goals and save money on fuel. Or look at AnheuserBusch. Yeah, the beer giant. They've got BYD trucks moving cases of Budweiser and Michelob Ultra around California, making sure your favorite six-pack gets to the store on time. Again, nothing flashy, no big press releases, just a quiet shift from diesel to electric, one route at a time. And then there's the ports. If you've ever been to the Port of Los Angeles or Long Beach, you know it's a non-stop parade of trucks, moving containers from ships to trains to warehouses.
It's a massive operation, and it's also one of the biggest sources of air pollution in Southern California.
That's where BYD comes in. They've delivered dozens of electric trucks to these ports, replacing old diesel rigs with zero-emission models. It's not just good for the environment, it's good business. These trucks are cheaper to run, quieter, and they help companies meet strict new emissions rules. Now, here's a fun fact. In 2023, a Swedish tech company called Einride, they're all about futuristic autonomous freight, placed the biggest order for BYD electric trucks outside of Asia. We're talking 200 trucks, all built in the US, all set to work on heavy-duty routes across the country. That's a massive vote of confidence in BYD's technology, and it's a sign that this silent invasion isn't slowing down anytime soon. But why is this happening now? Why are companies suddenly so interested in electric trucks, and why BYD of all brands? Well, there's a few reasons. First, the economics are starting to make sense. Electric trucks cost more upfront, sure, but they're way cheaper to operate. No diesel to buy, fewer moving parts to break down, and a lot less maintenance overall. Plus, with all the new government incentives for clean vehicles, companies can save a ton by making the switch. Second, there's the pressure to go green. Big companies, especially the ones that move a lot of stuff, are under increasing pressure from customers, investors, and regulators to cut their carbon emissions. Switching to electric trucks is one of the fastest ways to make a big dent in those numbers. And since most of these trucks run predictable routes from warehouse to warehouse or port to rail yard, it's easy to set up charging stations and keep them running all day. But maybe the most important reason is that BYD is just really good at this. They've been building electric buses and trucks for years, and they've got the technology dialed in. Their most popular truck, the 88T, can go up to 200 miles on a charge, more than enough for most local delivery and freight routes. And because they're building them in America, they can deliver quickly and offer local support when something goes wrong. So what does all this mean for you and me? Well, on the surface, maybe not much, at least not yet. You're probably not going to buy a BYD truck anytime soon. But if you order something online, or grab a six-pack at the store, or even just breathe the air in a city like Los Angeles, there's a good chance you're already benefiting from this quiet revolution.
The stuff you buy is getting delivered more efficiently, with less pollution, and the companies you rely on are saving money. All thanks to these trucks you've probably never even noticed. And that's what I find so fascinating about this whole story. It's not about flashy new gadgets or viral marketing campaigns. It's about the invisible machinery that keeps our world running and how it's changing right under our noses. BYD isn't trying to win your heart with a slick commercial or a test drive event. They're winning over the people who actually buy the trucks, the logistics managers, the fleet operators, the folks who care more about reliability and cost than brand loyalty or horsepower. In a way, it's kind of refreshing. We live in a world where so much of what we see is designed to grab our attention, to make us want, to make us buy, to make us care. But here's this company quietly building a business by solving real problems for real people without all the noise. It's a different kind of ambition, and honestly, it might be even more powerful in the long run. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Isn't there a risk here? Shouldn't we be worried about a foreign company taking over such a critical part of our economy? And yeah, that's a fair question. There's definitely been some pushback, especially from politicians and industry groups who worry about jobs, national security, and the future of American manufacturing. But here's the twist. BYD isn't just importing trucks. They're building them here, hiring American workers and paying American taxes. In a weird way, they're becoming part of the fabric of the U.S. economy, even as they bring in technology and expertise from abroad. And let's not forget, competition is good. It pushes everyone to do better, to innovate, to find new ways of solving old problems. If BYD's success forces American companies to step up their game, to build better, cheaper, cleaner trucks, that's a win for all of us. It means more choices, lower prices, and a faster transition to a cleaner, more efficient transportation system. But let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about trucks or even about BYD. It's about how change actually happens in the real world. We love to imagine that revolutions come with big moments, A new iPhone, a moon landing, a viral video. But most of the time, real change is slow, quiet, and kind of messy. It happens in the background as companies like BYD chip away at old habits and old systems, one contract at a time.
The next time you see a delivery truck rolling down the street, don't just see a hunk of metal on wheels. Think about all the invisible decisions, investments, and innovations that went into putting that truck on the road. Think about the people building it, maintaining it, driving it. Think about the companies making bets on new technology, taking risks, and trying to build a better future. Not just for themselves, but for all of us. And if you're the kind of person who likes to look a little deeper, who wants to understand not just what's happening, but why, then you're in the right place, because these are the stories that matter. The ones that don't always make the front page, but that end up shaping the world we live in. So yeah, BYD's trucks are already here. They're working hard day and night, moving the goods that keep America running. You might not see them, you might not hear about them, but they're making a difference. And as more companies catch on, as the technology gets better and cheaper, as the pressure to go green keeps building, I think we're going to see a lot more of these silent invasions in all kinds of industries. It's a reminder that sometimes the most important changes are the ones we don't notice until they're already part of our everyday lives. So, keep your eyes open. The future has a way of sneaking up on us, one quiet electric truck at a time. And hey, if you enjoyed this little deep dive, don't forget to subscribe. I've got a ton more stories like this coming your way. Stories about the hidden forces shaping our world, the tech that's changing how we live, and the people making it all happen. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Until next time, keep looking for the stories behind the scenes. That's where the real action is.